So today we're going to be looking at another tank kit, this time the Soviet KV-2 and 1/35th scale from, and I hope I'm saying this right, and fair warning, I'm probably going to butcher it, but Zvezda, uh, from them. So let's get into it. Now, very interesting choice of how they chose to box it. I don't see this very often. So overall, some of the surface detailing is very nicely done. You get some riveting in terms of raised detail, which is appropriate. Nothing really jumps out immediately to me as far as potential issues, but overall, I think it's fairly nicely rendered kit. Moving on, we have the upper half done as a single piece. The side area here is molded on as a single plastic piece. This one, I would say, is you could go photo etch, you might not. It's really up to you. I guess a cloud just came and blocked out the sun, so hopefully this is still showing up. Again, some of the details already molded in, such as here, which does save you a little time. You're given these track links in this option, or as the flexible plastic kind, which I'll get to in a little bit. But frankly, I do like the fact they give you the option to go with this or the other, as frankly, if I had to choose, this is better than the plastic stuff in my experience. Detail on the wheels are very nicely done. It's sharp and crisp. And 2 spurs of it. Moving on to the turret, here's where things get a little interesting, just because there's a lot of little detail parts that are going to go into assembly because of the odd shape. So it's going to take some time to build up, as obviously that's something that they may, I'm not sure if they could have done it as more single pieces or not, but one interesting thing, though, you do get some of the innards of the gun, so that does give you some options for having the tank open for dioramas and the like. Not much else to say there. Some more odds and end parts and detail parts. Again, nothing really jumps out as far as, except for this little, I guess, divot or dust or something. Yeah, suspension parts are nicely done, as well as some of these other odds and end parts. Again, 2 spurs. As I've said before, I really do not like these plasticky type treads for tanks. I've just found them, in my experience, to be terrible. And these honestly feel even worse than some of the ones I've worked with before. In fact, I would say, just by feeling them, I would say they were the worst. So definitely use the plastic, or see if you can get some metal replacements. Now, one thing to note, at least on my copy, is that the decals have heavily yellowed, so that's a bit of a bummer. Now, moving on to the instructions. Interesting that they choose to put the marking thing right up front instead of at the back. So, yeah, looks like they did this backwards for some ungodly reason. Issue 1, I'm definitely saying, is going to be getting this section lined up correctly. That could cause some headaches, so be aware of that. I didn't really notice this before, but you are given the engine, so that's another thing to add to the potential for diorama. Assembly of the gun's fairly straightforward. Nothing jumps out there, and it's a nice little addition. Yeah, whoever designed this instruction sheet must have been smoking something, as it's just all over the place in terms of there's no real logical progression. Yeah, whoever did it was not on their bringing their A game that day or something. I don't know. So yeah, that's something to be aware of. The very poorly done instruction sheet. But other than that, though, I really don't see anything that jumps out at me as, be aware of this. Otherwise, it's just a fairly straightforward build. It definitely offers some potential for to build it up to an interesting tank. As I said, I would recommend this as a good beginner kit almost, save for the instruction sheet. I'd say read the instructions several times before you really start cutting, just because. If I can get this box back on. The instruction sheet is definitely confusing, but other than that, it's a fairly easy build. Definitely one I would potentially recommend. I know right now Sprue Brothers has them in the bargain bin. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section if they discontinue it. But yeah, definitely it's an interesting kit, and one that will, build fairly easily into a respectable model with definite options for doing advanced diorama work. So yeah, that was a look at this company's 1/35th scale KV-2 heavy tank. Till next time.